What's going on, everyone? It's Sheena, aka Sheenapreneur, your favorite veteran. So, as you can tell by the title, shaky federal and corporate funding has got us all in a frenzy, right? And I've been telling y'all to do local for a long time. So, I just want to give a quick video on just a couple of reasons why you should do local, especially right now with this current climate, with things changing literally every day, multiple times per day, and we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So really the states have been not shielded but semi-shielded from all of this madness, because as you know, right now it's 2025, it's the end of February 2025, and there has been changes every day where the government is being sued by different agencies, and corporate agencies are losing their funding for DEI or anything of the such. And so really local has kind of been in that, like, no one, don't say anything to me, I won't say anything to you type thing. And this is based on my experience, and this is based on me researching and reading and ensuring that you all get this information, because the last thing I want to do is share false information. So the first thing that you should do, or you should understand about doing local, is there's stable budgets at the local government. There's more predictable budgets right now, especially even though we are considered, a United States, a lot of these states are operating drastically different. Money comes from the federal government. Typically, most government funding for states is coming from the federal government, but also there's other ways that states and counties and cities can get money from in order to fund different projects and different contracts and that sort of thing. So the first thing, like I said, is stable budgets. Local governments have more predictable budgets, offering steady opportunities despite the federal shakeup that we have going on right now. Okay, it's hard out here. And I did a video. I did brought my attorneys on to try to share what we know is going on. And I just want everyone to know, at the very least, it's going to be okay. Okay. As a business owner, you have to be very agile. You have to stick and move. Okay. So it's important to not let things that doesn't need to defeat you, let it defeat you before it even has a chance for you to before you even start doing your business. It's just really, really, you have to be agile to be a business owner nonetheless. So forward thinking is what's going to really help you. And, of course, with this right now, these are just some of the reasons why you should definitely go local. Reason is the number two reason is is less bureaucracy, and local contracts can typically be a little easier because there's not a lot of information that you have to learn for the first time. The state agency or the county or the city is specifically telling you what they want, and it's usually in plain English. Whereas you have to learn to speak Governese. Shout out to Abe, who teaches government contracting as well, where he says you have to learn to speak Governese, and that's typically true. And some of the documents, like the 1449 document that you would fill out, and if you win a contract, you will actually receive back signed, has some information on there where it's a little confusing on how to fill those documents out. But on the local side, it may not be less documentation, because sometimes you do have to physically turn those documents in, or you have to have them mailed with multiple copies. That can be a challenge, but it's usually in plain English compared to federal contracting. And usually, sometimes, not all the time, it's a faster turnaround, especially if you're talking about contracts that federal contracts that are super large, and it might take years for those to be awarded or canceled or whatever they're going to do with them. It's the same thing can be said on the local side, but usually you can reach out and touch someone a lot easier when it comes to those local contracts. So the number three thing would be closer relationships. You can build strong connections with local decision makers, leading to repeat business. Now, I would say this is also true on the local side. On the federal side, with a local advocate, I should say, whether it's a contracted officer or a buyer who is in the local area, building that relationship is just as important on the federal side. But on the local side, you may be, in a fraternity or sorority, or you may have gone to school with someone who's now in a position of power. That doesn't mean that they need to automatically give you the work, but it doesn't hurt that they know you and they know how you do business or how you get down. They may need this service, and then you're in that local area. They know you can do the service. Boom, there it is. There's nothing wrong with that. The same way, if you had a family member or a friend that that does some sort of does drywall, you probably would go with them first if you feel like they're going to do a good job. I mean, that doesn't mean that you can't hire someone that you know, like, and trust, right? So that's the number 3 thing. The number 4 thing is some of the local contracts, even though there's millions and millions of dollars at the local level, some of those contracts on the local level can be smaller and they're a little easier to navigate, especially if you're first starting out. You don't necessarily, as a newbie, want to be awarded a $50 million contract. That may be a lot more than you bargained for when you have no idea what you're doing. I can't imagine someone wanting to get a $50 million contract right out the gate. It sounds good. It sounds like you can retire right away. But then again, you don't know what you don't know. And so it could end up being a $50 million headache. And that has happened to people, maybe not that level, but even in the high 6-figure realm or low 7-figure realm where they're like, okay, this is a lot of work. I didn't realize it's going to be this much work. And we're talking about just $1 million or 900,000. And it's still a stressful thing. Can be more accessible contracts, making it easier for small businesses to compete. So you may, as a small business, you're able to get to these contracts a little easier rather than going up against some of the big guys on the federal side. Not to say that you cannot win on the federal side. You absolutely can. I am an advocate, and I'm also a recipient of federal contracts and I didn't know anyone. I didn't really, I just went out there and bid and I won. Had someone on my side. The Lord was on my side. So some of these local contracts, they can be a little easier to access, easier to find. There's not as much competition because of your geographical location, or maybe even have a set aside like a DBE or an MBE or a local small business enterprise certification for that particular city where they need some sort of work done or some sort of product. And boom, you're the only one that's certified in that thing. So that can make it a little easier to get access to those local contracts. Number 5 would be community impact. So you directly improve your community through infrastructure and public service projects, making your work more meaningful. I talked about this in a couple of videos that, wouldn't it be great to renovate your old high school, your old elementary school, or even some of the roads that you've driven on, your parents have driven on. I mean, I even know that's more construction based, but even selling products to, a company or an agency that you used as a kid, like the Boys and Girls Club or the YMCA or something like that, where you used to go to that YMCA, you learned how to swim there, and now you're, refinishing their pool or something like that. It's just things like that. It does make an impact. I actually, when I did some work with Knoxville College, one of the gentlemen that was going to be doing the masonry work, he actually went to college there, and he was like, this would be such a passion project for me. He didn't end up getting it at that time, but still, it was a nice thought that he could possibly be awarded a contract for a school that he actually went to before it got all dilapidated. But just want to share those quick things of why, based on what's going on right now, federal side is a little and then corporate side is a little So it may be in your best interest right now to start with local contracting. Just to get it done. I have many videos that I have talked about at length about local contracting, so feel free to check those out. If you're new here, welcome. I didn't even welcome my newbies, but welcome if you are new here. And please leave in the comments anything you want me to discuss. I don't want to sound redundant all the time, or maybe you want to just have me explore something a little further that maybe I didn't get a chance to explore or speak about more in depth. But I do have my GovConNOW course. Of course, right now it's in an indefinite sale. Not sure when that's going to be lifted. But right now, I don't want any excuse of why people can't get into government contracting. So my price went down a little bit just so I can help people get in here and really get through this government contracting thing, especially right now with everyone being so nervous and scared about what's going on in the government, rightfully so. And I have my GovCon Moneymakers community. Of course, I'm going to leave all those descriptions all of those links are going to be in the description. So until next time, guys, it's your favorite veteran.